Hey guys, this is Legends Gaming. Today we're bringing you a nice little budget-friendly Vegito starter deck profile. This guy's from set 10, really good leader. So make sure that you hit that like and hit that subscribe so you don't miss any future content. So without further ado, the leader itself is when he attacks, he draws one. But he has a neat little effect that if it's your opponent's turn and one of your blue unison cards will be placed in the drop area, or one of your blue battle cards is removed from the battle area by an opponent's skill or KO, you may flip this card over and draw two. That allows you to really awaken super early. But even if you're not able to get that off, his normal awaken is when he's at 4 or less life. You may draw one and untap one energy and flip this card over. And then we have Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, Godhood Transcended. Love that artwork. Auto, just like normal, when he attacks, he draws. But he has a neat little activate battle. For 2 blue energy, you choose one of your blue unison cards. He gets a 10k buff and triple strike for the battle. That's going to be your main win con of the deck. But he has an auto once per turn, just like the front. If it's your opponent's turn, blue unison will be placed in the drop area, or one of your blue battle cards is removed from the battle area by opponent's skill or KO'd. You may switch up to one blue, mono blue, rather, energy to active mode to draw one card. This deck is going to draw quite a bit, actually. So for the first card, we have 4 of the Vegito, Pursuit of Power. Like I said, this is your main win con. You just want to get him out here, use your leader effect, give him the 10k buff and triple strike, and go for game. But his permanent is if your leader card is blue Saiyan, which it is, and you have a blue Saiyan battle card in play in rest mode, your leader card does not take damage from attacks. That's a really good way to lock your opponent from swinging at your leader. His activate main for free is you choose one of your leader cards or battle cards, and you switch it to rest mode, and you add 1 marker to this card. His second activate main for 2 markers is you draw 1, then choose one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost greater than their current energy, ignoring barrier, and place it at the bottom of its owner's deck. That's really strong for removal, because you're not allowing your opponent to recycle that card next turn with it just being bounced to their hand. It's being completely discarded to the bottom of their deck. So next we have 4 of the Super Saiyan Blue Son Goku, Tenacious Warrior. Great artwork. This is going to be one of your self-awakeners because he'll add 1 card from your life to your hand. He gets an 11k buff. And when he's KO'd, you look at the top 7 cards from the top of your deck, add 1 blue unison with a specified cost of 2 among them to your hand, and shuffle. Most of the time, the people that see this are not going to want to kill it because they do not want you to be able to search out your blue unison warrior and add it to your hand so early, adding that pressure. So it's a good way to be able to keep a self-awakener on the board. Next we have Vegeta, Savior of the Future. For those of you who've been playing the card game for a while, this is literally just another Kaba, but just finally we have one for blue. So he's another self-awakener. He adds 1 from your life to your hand, and when he attacks, he gets 10k buff and double strike for the turn. So it's really good for early game pressure. Next we have Super Saiyan Trunks, Architect of Peace. Love the artwork on this. His is for 1 blue energy. If leader card is a blue Saiyan card, when he is used in a combo, you choose 1 blue Saiyan card with energy cost of 2 or less from your hand, negate its skills for the turn, and play it in rest mode. This is really good for locking your opponent as well. For whatever reason, if your battle area is clear and your opponent's swinging, you just combo with him. You choose one that's 2 or less, pop it in rest mode, then they can't swing at your leader because you have a blue Saiyan in rest mode. So they would have to worry about killing that card first before they could go after you. Good card. Next we have 2 of Krillin the Cunning. This is a nice little one that I want to throw in here for blue. When you play him, not only do you draw 1, but for the duration of the entire game, if the turn player were to use the skill of a battle card or extra card to switch energy to active mode, they can't switch energy to active mode unless they choose 5 cards from their drop and send them to their warp. That does not mean that is on your opponent's turn. On your opponent's turn, you can still use Sensu Beans or Dimension Magics or anything like that to untap. It's just only referring to on your turn. So I know there was some confusion with that one. So now we are on to one of my personal favorites in this deck is Dr. Rhoda, Unknown Potential. Absolutely wonderful card for blue. I suggest people picking this up while it's still cheap. But he's a 1-drop blocker, and when this card is KO'd, you choose up to 1 of your blue energy and switch it to active mode. This is what's going to allow your leader to awaken at 8 life. Because on turn 1, you can play him. Your opponent swings. You choose to block it, kill it. You awaken on turn 1 with still 8 life left. Great card, great card. Next we have 4 of the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, Heroic Warrior. Love this guy, but we all know that I'm biased to Vegeta anyway. But his permanent is when this leader card is a Blue Saiyan card, this card gains critical. And when he's KO'd, you draw 1, and then add up to 1 blue unison card with a specified cost of 2 from your drop area to your hand. So this is just a really good card to not only add pressure to your opponent with being crit, but it allows you to recycle the unisons back from your drop area to your hand. Next, we have one of my personal favorites. I had to check this guy in. I love this guy for blue. Son Goku striving to be the best. He's a 2-drop barrier, but your opponent's cards with an energy cost of 2 or less cannot attack. Love this. This locks down so many cards, especially early game, and so many decks from being able to swing at you. So next we have Super Combo Choice. It was the starter deck. For those of you that are new to the game, you have certain super combos that do not have the immediate 10k buff right there. So this was just one where if you happen to get into a match with someone that's playing a lot of aggro on you, it's just nice to have that 10k buff already without having to meet the specification of 4 life or less. So next we'll get to 4 of the Raging Spirit Son Gohan. This is a great card. It's been out for a while. Primarily you want to pay 1 energy and combo with this guy on your opponent's turn. Survive yourself from an attack. He immediately goes into rest mode. And that's on your opponent's turn. So on your next turn, you got basically a free K beater, a free 15k beater on the board for 1 energy. Next we have 2 of the Preface of Recovery Son Goku. I just love this card with blue. He does cost 3, but he is barrier, and when you play him, you choose up to 2 of your energy and switch him to active mode. So he turns into a 1-drop 15k beater. Then we've got 3 of the awe-inspiring Intimidator Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. I've always loved this card. This one works a lot like your leader with locking your opponent out from swinging at your leader and you having to take damage. Because when he's in rest mode, he gains barrier and your opponent's cards can't attack your leader card. Great card. Like I said, it's another option for locking out and preventing damage from your leader. But as long as you have 5 energy when you play him, you also get to draw a card. Now I know there's another one, a Deadly Defender Vegeta, that does the same thing. And he's a 3-drop, but on your opponent's turn, he drops from a 20k to a 15. So next we have At All Costs Vegeta. This is another great finisher. If you're not able to access your unison to go for game, this one's great. So when you play him, you draw 1 and you choose 1 of your energy and switch it to active mode. But his activate main is once per turn. You choose 2 cards in your life, add them to your hand, and this card gets 3,000 power for the duration of the turn for each energy that you have. And if you have 5 or more energy, you choose up one of your opponent's battle cards, KO it, and this gains triple strike for the duration of the turn. Very, very strong card. A little costly with having to take 2 life, so be careful with this one, especially with all the counterplays and stuff that are out there now. But it's just a really good option for a finisher. And we're all running blue, so you know we absolutely have to run 4 Sensu Beans. This is just, if you're, like I said, if you're running blue, you absolutely have to run 4. Or this card, period. You choose up to 1 of your cards, it gains a 5k buff. He costs 1, but you get to untap 2. And that's on you or your opponent's turn. And whatever card that you give that 5k buff to, keeps it for either your turn or your opponent's turn that you played it on. And another great staple for blue, 4 Dimension Magics. This is one, I absolutely love the sparking effect on it for 1. As long as you have 5 sparking, which means 5 card in your drop area, you can actually use this negate by adding a card from your life to your hand. And when you do, he does cost 1 normally, but you get to untap 2 energy as well. Great card. And last but not least, you know we got to throw a little bit of Overwhelm in here. For those of you that don't know what Overwhelm is, Overwhelm 7 means that you have to have 7 cards in your drop and at least 1 energy. So when he comes out, instead of him costing 7 energy to play anyway, he'll cost 1 as long as you have 7 cards in your drop area. And when he does, he becomes a 25,000 double striker. And when you Overwhelm, you just take your drop area and it goes to your warp. And then you get to draw 2 cards with him. So that is the deck profile for Vegeta. I hope you guys enjoyed it and have a good one.